Hey there, Win Win Nation. I am Michelle L. Forbes, none other than the Win Win Life Coach, and you are here tuned into the Win Win Life show this afternoon. And we're so happy for another time that we're able to get and sit with you and have a conversation with our guest along with you. So feel free to go ahead and share this live. Feel free to go ahead and interact with us. Drop a comment here or there, and absolutely sure. Be free to leave a love or a like and also hit the follow and the subscribe button, depending on which platform you are tuned into. This afternoon, we have a young man, a fellow entrepreneur with us, and I'm going to share a bit about him, and then we're going to bring him up and we're going to have a conversation. Alrighty. So, Mom Owned Businesses was founded on November 29th, 2021, and has grown to over 57,000 members and counting since then, and is now the second largest Facebook group based out of Delaware, sponsoring major networking events and leveraging social media for exposure led to us being recognized nationally. That's Mom. We have created a culture for mothers who are also entrepreneurs to learn, grow, network, and more. Delaware Events was created about 2 years ago and have grown to more than 15,000 members with over 86,000 visitors monthly. We allow the promotion of local events, that's in Delaware. If you're located in Delaware, then this is your thing, and local businesses, business promotions. Shop DE, that's Delaware.org, is a free statewide directory. We are launching for both small businesses and their potential consumers, redirecting traffic in a structured and efficient manner to generate leads for small businesses. And there's one that was left off from this list, which is boomnn.org. That I'd love for August to share with you more on what exactly is that about. When I heard that website address, my eyebrows knit. I was like, I wonder what this is about. Yep. And who is the person that would have created all these things? We are here this afternoon on our Meet the Creator series, and we have none other than Keenan Jones joining us this afternoon right here on Meet the Creator of Mob, M-O-B, Mob, Mom Owned Businesses, of shopde.org, of Delaware Events, and boomnn.org. I'm curious about that one. Welcome,
Okay.
Keith. A pleasure to have you. Now, there
Thank
are
you. I'm
two.
so humbled. Thank you.
You're most welcome. There are two names that I must share with you guys. On social media, you'll not see Keenan Jones. You'll see Itachi Hokage. I hope I pronounced the last one properly.
Hokage.
Hokage. Okay, all right. I got it right now. Itachi Hokage and the Mob Man. So,
Mhm.
please, if you could just explain those two last names, aka Itachi Hokage and aka the Mob Man, for those
Okay.
who have no clue who you are.
All right. Well, I'm 35-year-old, a 35-year-old man, believe it or not, and I'm very into anime. Have been my entire life. And one of the best animes ever, Naruto, has a character named Itachi, and the Hokage title is leader of a village. Now, as so he never made Hokage actually, but he was looked at as one of the Hokages because he sacrificed for his village, and up until a certain point, everyone frowned upon him, said he was a traitor, and all this and that. When he actually had, the best interest for his village and his family, at mind the whole time. And just because everyone else viewed him as this outcast and as a traitor, as a rebel, someone that rebelled against them, he just seen it a different way. And later on, everyone else ended up seeing it that way. So you gotta step outside the normal. You gotta step aside what's common. You gotta be different sometimes, and don't listen to the opinions of the critics, regardless of what they say. And then the mob man, I had event I was marketing a partner to called Woman and Wine Weekend. It was in this year. It's in Houston, actually in about 2 weeks. But last year it was in ATL in Atlanta, and for it was a lot of celebrities: Andy Smith, Ronnie DeVoe, his wife, Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Jackie Harris. A lot of celebrities there, about 20 celebrities, and at all the celebrities, I heard this random person screaming out, not just like saying the mob man, but shouting out the mob man, like kind of embarrassing me, right? And but it was crazy because I just started this group and she
Yes.
was in the group and she recognized me because she sees me every single day posting in that group, which was mom owned businesses. And at
Yes.
that moment, it's like that's when I kind of embodied that name and embodied my position and as the founder of the mob, the leader of the mob, because that made me proud. It made me proud. That happened. Another person
Yes.
called me mob man. I was took my daughter down to Disney World in November of her birthday last year. She recognized me in Orlando, Florida.
Wow.
And that just goes to show you the mob's reach and whatnot. So I'm just very humbled and grateful. God first, thanking God first for the position I'm in, and always looking to improve.
Awesome. 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 Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, for those who don't know, if you could just give them a bit more of mob. What is
Okay.
that? Who is that? Yeah.
Mob is my group. It's 57,000 plus members for moms. I know I'm a guy. Everyone gets blown away when they finally meet me.
Yes.
You know, but it was an idea, and it led to like a powerful community and movement and collection of entrepreneurs that are moms. Because I honestly believe, from my own mother, seeing what she's done in my life, and seeing what the mothers of my kin do in my children's lives. Like I see the power of mothers. Like I see the power of moms, and I know what the economy needs. It's not a bunch of guys, not supporting each other. It's bringing that mother's touch, from that we get from women, bringing that into our economy, bringing that into our businesses, so businesses can not just sustain themselves but thrive. Because just like Facebook's algorithm, we do best when we engage with each other, when we support each other.
Come
So
on. Come on.
that's the board I'm on.
Come on. Come on. I love that. We do best when we engage together, when we support each other.
Hmm.
That is powerful. But I took note that you mentioned based on what you'd have seen your mom. Can you share what some insight as to what did you see your mom and how the impact it made in your life, Keegan?
My mom is the strongest person I know. Hands down, like she's the strongest person I know. She raised four of us with by herself. She was a single mother. We've been in tough situations, but she never caved in. She never let us really see the struggle that she was going through. That you don't realize as a kid until you're older and an adult, or you go through your own struggles, and then you're like, "Dang, my mom went through this." So it's like I have the ultimate respect for her, and I love her to death. And it's just like she's been the example and the like, just like that. That's what I look up to, really. It really is, because that strength isn't just easily found, and it's kind of sad, but that strength is really, it has to be taken out of you. Like it has to, come to a point where you don't have nothing else to do but see how strong you are, and that's what she did every time.
Wow. Wow. Does she, what you're sharing with us here, does she know that you would have shower her on with that at times?
Nah, I'm gonna send her this. I'm gonna send her the link though. She's gonna know it then.
Wow, wow, wow. Why do business?
Um, well, business because well, I had to basically rely on business because I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get a job, so I had to rely on business.
Hmm.
And when it comes to why I focused on business, because I failed a lot of times, right? And one of my
Hmm.
biggest failures that to this day was me and my best friend, my godson's mother. We've opened a restaurant together, and before we opened up a restaurant together, we just had plans of opening up a restaurant, and every time it fell through. right? And then we finally got to a point where we finally got it open and whatnot, but we didn't have all the capital we needed. We didn't have all the support we needed. We didn't have all the, the marketing we needed. There was so many things that we needed. So ultimately, we ended up failing, and we both made a lot of sacrifices for that. So I kind of like made a promise to myself that I would get better in the categories that we lacked in, get my money up, get my marketing up, my marketing prowess, marketing skills up, because I realized what the key to all the businesses were, because after that business, that was the last business I failed. That
Mhm.
was just the end of the rope, because I had someone else relying on me. And then,
Mhm.
for that means of income from the
Mhm.
business, so they're not going back to the 9 to 5, and I failed her, you
Mhm.
know. So I took it personal, and I just never looked back. And now I'm just to the point where I'm grateful for everything that happened, good or bad, because God, put those things in our lives. You know, show us that we took a detour, or show us that we're going too fast or we're going too slow, whatever it is. He put certain things in our lives that put us back in the right direction. And it's like, once I started listening and following his steps and letting him order my steps, a lot of things became more clear.
Mhm. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for giving that insight. For why business, you would have answered, in the event that you would have started out business, that first business, that restaurant, it flopped.
Mm-hmm.
Did you revert to, okay, yes, you're going to sharpen your skills, but did you revert to, okay, let me find a job? And
Nah,
no, why?
one I couldn't.
You couldn't. Okay. Okay.
I couldn't, and then two, that's just not my mindset. Like, I'm very stubborn. I am
Okay.
very stubborn, but I couldn't. I don't want to jump ahead, so I don't know what to do.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So you didn't want to, you knew from then that, okay, going back into a 9 to 5, because you had a 9 to 5 before.
Oh yeah, yeah. The last 9 to 5 I had with Delaware City Refinery, I was
Okay.
making 6 figures a year, enough to where I didn't have to pay Social Security after summer was over, and
Mhm.
because I maxed out. But it was the most racist job I ever worked. I love the job itself, because I love
Mm.
challenges, and
Yeah.
I learned honestly a lot of what I apply to marketing and businesses nowadays came from the refinery, and no one will ever be able to correlate that unless you on a refinery and you're on night shift and you're learning the whole unit, and you're walking out each line to see what's in the line, to see where it goes, and see the reason why it goes to what, and you learning the whole system. You learn parts of the system, but then the more you learn the whole system and why it functions and what its purpose is. And once you learn systems, you could duplicate them. I do the same thing with businesses.
Wow.
So once you understand that system, you could duplicate it. But I love that part of the job, but I
Yeah.
hated the racism that I wasn't accustomed to, you know.
Yeah.
And I still knew that racism existed today, in America and whatnot, but not to the level that I experienced it. And I can only imagine what it was like back in the '60s and prior to that, because it's hard. It's hard. It was I was depressed making 120, 30 grand plus a year, and I was depressed going to work every single day. And you got people telling me, when I went to people for advice, when I used to do that, people were telling me, "Oh, just suck it up. It's 6 figures. Oh, you can get through it." Yo, if you're not happy going into a job, like
Yep.
every single day, you're distracted. You're not content. Like you're not on your p's and q's, and that was a dangerous job. So any wrong move, you can end up in the hospital. You can get exposed to hydrogen disulfide, which is H2S, and they have a chemical in it that makes it smell like rotten eggs. But if you don't smell that chemical, your olfactory nerves are done and shot. So once you can't smell anymore, you up to 90 parts per million, 100 parts per million. That can kill you. So that's what that was. Um, like, as far as me not ever working a 9 to 5 again, I won't succeed to racism. I won't be a number in someone's business plan. And I'm not saying being a number in someone's business plan is bad, but for me, it's not for me. It just simply
Okay.
isn't for me, and I can't subside to racism at all.
Absolutely. There are some key things that you dropped as you were answering there just now. And I just like to just reiterate them. One, the last point that you meant there, that was just not for me. It's
Mhm.
important, guys, whoever you're tuning in right now or who would watch the replay, that we know what is for you. Because
Mhm.
if it's not for you, you're going to burn yourself out, and pretty likely that you may check out of this world sooner than you should. because you're trying to fit a circle into a square, trying to fit a triangle into a circle. It when it's not for you, it's not for you. And it's important that you know what is for you. You also mentioned, Keenan, you mentioned like walking the path during the night shifts and learning the systems. And as you continued on, you mentioned learning the whole system and how it function and why it function, and how you were able to take that, though you're in a place where you would rather not be. You wouldn't wish it even for your enemy, but you were able to grab some wisdom gems, some nuggets from there, and journey onto your future with some wealth from that job. And I'd love to leave that with you, guys who are tuning in, to know you're in a spot right now and it's not the best. I've been there and know what it's like. But God, what can I learn from here that will
Yes.
help me catapult me to the future? What is it that I am to learn from here? What is it I am to bring to here? And don't know if you picked that up just now when he was sharing, but that
Yeah.
stood out, that he said in a place where it was racist, didn't want to be, but he was able to use what he learned from there to him being very pivotal within the business arena now. Yeah. So, question: Do you
Hmm.
regret? Do you regret working at the refinery?
No, never. It was honestly one of the best things that could have ever happened to me, regardless of how it ended and regardless of what went on there. Like people fail to realize that it's not always about the destination, you know.
Mm.
Because if you focus too much on that destination, you're going to miss the journey. And if you miss the journey, you're not going to be ready for the destination.
Wow, that is big. I hope you guys got that. That is big. If you didn't, press rewind and come and go again. That is big. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Wow. Okay, so Keenan, if you had the opportunity to be on a stage in a room with a group of young men
Mhm.
or young women, and you are asked to, I want you to go ahead and share, what would be three things that you would share with them based on what you would have learned as a young man coming up? What would be three things that you know that if they just listen to you and take it and put it to action, it would make their lives so much different? What would be three things that you would share with those men?
Don't point the finger at anyone else but yourself, regardless of what the situation is. Even if you can put the finger elsewhere, point it to yourself, and then apply that problem solving to come up with a solution to ensure that you're not back in that same place again. Like, because once you stop pointing the finger and you hold yourself accountable for everything, then you're the only one that can change everything. You're not allowing other people to dictate or, leverage or, steer you in the wrong direction because you only can account for, I mean, you're only accounting yourself responsible. And that's
Mm,
huge. That's a huge thing. Two,
yeah.
energy is everything, and what you speak is everything. I actually heard this in church, and she touched on it briefly, but I speak on this like every day, even to my kids. Like my daughter, her mom will call me and say like Cadence has an attitude, and she woke up on the wrong side of the bed saying this and that, and I calmly get on the phone with my daughter and I tell her, what's that? Where's that bad energy at? She says in me. All right, and I'm like, okay, well now you need to let it go because if you had that bad energy the whole day, you're gonna give that to everyone else. And I was like, you know how I tell you your smiles can be infectious? Well, they can be infectious because of the energy. And if you let that energy, the bad energy, overtake you, it's gonna reflect in your whole day, your whole life. Everything you say is gonna manifest. Now, do the opposite, do the inverse thing of that. Do vice versa by speaking nothing but good, thinking nothing but good, not fearing, making decisions or choices that, with your life that might put you in a bad situation or you're scared to take a leap, whatever. Just think about the benefit of doing it or think about the outcome if it is good. Like speak that into existence because your mouth and your energy is very powerful. Like and you can speak so many things into existence. We do it without even realizing it, via
Yes.
our fears, via
Yeah.
what comes out of our mouths, via our mindsets. Like it's we are powerful beings and God made us that way. So it's like utilize it in an efficient way by not focusing on the bad, focus on the good and manifest that. And let's say three, um, walk in your purpose. Like walk in your purpose, don't care for critics.
Mm,
And it's kind of hard to find your purpose, but once you find it, like you know it's it. And then when you know it's it, don't quit it. Like just walk on it
Yep.
and let God lead you.
Yep. 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 Love that. Love that. You said God made us with we're powerful beings. Did you get that?
Mm.
Let me say it again. We are powerful beings, and that's how God made us. Walk in your purpose. Like, wow. We have two persons who are giving a shout out. Say, Purpose in Christ Ministries, Major
Yeah, I
Keys.
was at her church today.
That's your church?
Yeah, I'm a new member now.
Awesome. Awesome. She says some major keys being dropped. And Victoria Chef Tori Johnson. This is really good.
I think I
Yes,
have
it
a business card.
did you have a business card?
I think I have a business card. I can't remember her name, but I asked for someone's business card today.
Awesome,
I
awesome.
did venues.
And Alisa tuning in saying,
Oh yeah,
Amen,
there she go.
Amen. Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, check her out.
Yes,
Check her out.
Tori. Awesome,
All right.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
He said, yes, you do, sir. Yes, you do, sir. So,
Oh, hold on. Let me do that
what
too.
were what were two toughest situations you found yourself in life? One was a result of you being foolish, making a foolish decision, or two, just life happening. But there were two tough situations that you would have found yourself in life. If there is someone who has been thinking about stepping out, starting a business, making a shift based on city, making a shift in career, what would be the key starter steps that you would advise them to make?
Um, don't do anything you don't know how to do. And if you don't know how to do it, either pay for the money to get it done the right way or teach yourself to do it the right way. Because, for example, don't make your website by yourself if you don't know what you're doing because it's going to look unprofessional, tacky. No one's going to come to it and no one's going to stay on it for more than 10 seconds. But if you get someone like myself or eventually Michelle, wink, wink,
Mhm.
uh, to build a site or whatnot, to build a
Yes,
site, then it's going to come off professional, sleek, and then you're going to actually be able to make sales because people are going to trust it. It's going to be socially verifiable. So,
yes,
and then what else can I tell you? Don't, let me see. Actually, discipline is something that's slept on for some reason when it comes to business owners, and that is
yes,
you can have all the talent, all the numbers, everything in the world, but if you're not disciplined to get yourself up to make these Facebook posts, or at least to get to the point where you're scheduling them, or
yep,
get disciplined enough to get on live once a week, get disciplined enough to actually not spend the budget for your whatever it is, your marketing or something else, like whatever it is, you
yes,
just got to be
yes,
disciplined to actually do it, and then stick to it. Discipline and consistency kind of they don't go hand in hand, but like, and they're not the same, but you need both of them. And consistency is another huge thing I learned from my business partner, and I call her my mentor. Her name is Aisha Watson.
mhm,
We've done a lot of things together. She doesn't really consider herself my mentor, but I learned a lot from her because of the
mhm,
position that she was in and where she's came from. It's not the same, but it's kind of similar. And
mhm.
she's taught me anything could be possible. And consistency is everything. So definitely discipline, the consistency, and yeah, make sure you either pay the
Know
right
what?
people or teach yourself the right things to know what you're doing.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. When you touched on discipline, Keenan, I was like, yep, having I'm on the journey of being an entrepreneur right now. But when you touched on discipline, I was like, yeah, I can tell you a thing or two about that. That is so key. And consistency, wow. And knowing the thing. There's one thing I learned when I went back to college upon coming here to Canada. And one of the things that my professor who would have taught me leadership, one of the things he says, he doesn't purport to be the smartest person in the room, but he knows how to employ the smartest people for the different categories that he
Mm.
needs covered in ministry. Yep. And that is something that have stuck with me, even though he would have taught it once. I was like, okay, when it comes to employing folks, they don't have to be smart like you are smart. You don't have to know it all, but get the people who know what you need to be covered. And that was definitely what you just said. That was powerful. So, I would like to know if there were the type of business that you engage in now. Was it that you chose, like, this is what I'm passionate about, this is what I want to do, like Mob, the group, and Delaware Events, another group, and the shopde.org, boomnn.org? Is it because persons usually in the business arena online, I keep on hearing person says, okay, pursue your passion. What is it that you like? What is it that you feel drawn to? Why did you choose the type of business that you are currently in? So it's an individual, they know they want to do business, but like, Keenan, how do I figure out what business? There's so much business to engage in outside there.
Honestly, WWJD. What would Jesus do? Marketing is not
Ah,
my passion. Marketing is, and a lot of people mix that up. Like marketing is not my passion whatsoever. But I got to a point,
wow.
like I said, I was failing a lot of businesses, and marketing is key to a business. So I had to become an expert at it. And when I got to that point, I seen that the people that were having successful businesses were paying $5,000, $10,000 a month for marketing. That's not feasible for someone that just started a business with no funding or no
No,
capital or anything like that.
no.
So I try to offer
Or
resources and marketing that was affordable. Now it ended up biting me in my rear end, but it was like for the time that I kind of still do it, but for the time that I did do it on a large scale, it changed a lot of businesses. Like, and it actually helped a lot of people sustain their businesses after 2 years, as opposed to folding in 6 months.
yeah,
And that's because as opposed to a $5,000 marketing plan, my marketing plan was $300, and then they actually worked. You know, and
oh,
the thing is, we we are selfish, and it's by human nature, because by human nature we're taught to survive, right? So you
yeah,
don't want to give someone else the means to making bread how you made bread. You don't want to teach someone how to do what you did, because then you feel like it's competition, it's a
yeah.
threat. But like I said earlier, the key to winning honestly is like being engaged with each other, supporting each other, and growing together.
Hmm.
And if we're on that mindset, then we should be able to share gems and jewels and drop these gems and jewels with each other and
Come on.
still all win, because there's going to be enough money for all of us. We just let the way economy and society is structured right now kind of like get us out of that mindset, when this is not really the best of stories to use, but people, we built the Tower of Babel like how many years ago, and we did that what together, like
Yes,
we did all these amazing things. The pyramids are out in Egypt, like way
yes,
back then, without the mechanical or the mechanical things they needed, or the
yeah,
technology that we have. But they built these amazing things. It's because we did it
yes.
together, and it's like I'm really honed in on that. Let's grow together stuff. If you Google anything that I put out, you're gonna see Let's Grow Together or that same culture or concept, because it actually works. That's why Facebook pay people. It works. Facebook pays you to engage. Like they're
Yes.
on to something.
Yes, 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 they absolutely are. Wow. As I'm listening to you, my mind rolled back to our pre conversation when we had it in the last week, and you made mention about four businesses.
Hmm.
Where you are now, you have a good footing in business and you're moving forward. You're seeing some returns, but it wasn't where you started. Can you
Oh
share
no.
with folks? Yeah. Can you share with folks what it was like getting here? Yeah.
Okay. It was this simple. I failed. I failed. I failed. I felt some more. Then I failed again. Then I failed again. That's how that's how it went. But yeah, I felt a lot, man. But
Yeah.
honestly, a failure isn't really a failure. Like that's how you define it. Like, and for me, every failure was a lesson. And every lesson is a blessing. That's how I
Yep.
take it. And with when I you asked me earlier if I regret working at the refinery, and I said that no. I don't regret all the stuff that life's put me through either. Like I wouldn't ask for anything to change, regardless of how bad it was, how hard it was, because like I said, that's part of the journey, and the journey is what prepares you for that destination. Like you're not going to get to your destination, and God's not going to put you in a place that you're not ready to be in. It's that simple. And that's what the journey is for. Is to build us up. It's to build our character. It's to build our morals. It's to build like our intellect. It's to build our wisdom. It's to build our strengths. It's to build our weaknesses. You
Yep.
know, and we just gotta take it with a grain of salt for what it is, and just align ourselves with our purpose and walk in our purpose on the God.
Yep. Yep. Wow. Wow. So he said it very gracefully. I failed. I failed. I failed. I failed. I failed again, and I failed. But then he tagged he wrapped it up with this phrase: every failure is a lesson, and every lesson is a blessing. The name of the show is The Win-Win Life. The first win is for those straight out wins that you get. The second win is the failures, but the lessons that you're able to learn from the failures. They turn out to be a win if you pivot those and move on forward. Use them as dust that you step on. Remember the story with that donkey was put in the hole to be buried, but he made every shovel of dust a step to step on and to step out of that spot that he would have found himself in. I appreciate the fact that you could say, Keenan, that you don't regret because you realize the man right now, Keenan Jones, who's seated here at this 4:34 p.m. on this day in July 2023, that who you are today, who you embody today, is a combination and accumulation of everything that you would have gone through. And so I can definitely appreciate and see why you said no regrets, Michelle. No regrets. But you definitely have some advice to give based on
Oh
what you
yeah.
would have gone through. Based on what you would have gone through. Awesome. All right, Keenan, if you had the opportunity to meet one person that would have mentored you from afar,
Hmm.
whether it be through podcast, whether it be through a service, whether it be through a book, but you would have seen how your life have made some shifts based on the content that you would have consumed through your life. Who would that one person be and why?
Um, that's hard. Let me think real quick. Actually, that's not that. Probably Martin Luther King. Like, it would honestly probably be Martin Luther King.
Wow. Why? Flesh out the why. Why?
Because one, I'm a numbers guy, and what he did in a time where there was no social media, where there was no internet,
Mhm,
nothing of the sort like that, no Instagram, nothing of the sort like that. You got
mhm.
millions of people to rally for like one belief and one purpose. Like, that's amazing. And then he actually walked in his purpose regardless of what was going on. And a lot of people don't know MLK wasn't perfect, but the guy has a federal holiday. The guy changed so many of our mindsets and actually tried to make a difference. And the thing is, they keep showing us, you know, like even with MLK, they try to use him as an example. Like, where's he at now? He's dead, right? They try
Mhm.
to make examples out of that. But if you look at the context of his life and everything he tried to do, it was just amazing. Like, it was literally amazing because he did and still is doing what so many of us can't even do, like,
Yes.
whatsoever. Like, we live in this world where we're content with how everything is going. We're content with what society is giving us. We're content with going to recession here in America. We're content with all this stuff and what they're telling us. And he's like stood against all that. He stood against what was the norm. He stood against what was the system. He stood against all that. And people don't realize how hard that is. Like, before we hopped on the show, I told you, or I sent you that link for Justice for Lamont Moses, a movement I helped lead here in Delaware. And
Yes.
it was January 13th of 2021. He got shot 9 times by Newcastle County Police Department
Mhm.
outside of their jurisdiction, and it was uncalled for. And he's dead now. I know his wife personally. I know I've met his kids, and it's horrible. Like, I did a reel one time of his daughter walking for the first time, and he's not here to celebrate that with his wife or with his daughter because he got taken away, like, because of racism and what's been instilled in systemic America. So it's just, I can go into that for days, but long story short, I'm tired of the blasphemy. I'm tired of us being all this not organized and whatnot. So that's the point in like all of this. Like my passion isn't marketing. My passion isn't the numbers behind it. My passion isn't businesses. My passion is a better world. Like my passion is us, uniting together and actually being smart and using strategy to get to where we need to be. Like all that Black Wall Street stuff. I just like the lady on top of the group right now. I'm doing a Black Wall Street event with her down in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She's the first. I think I told you the first
Yeah.
black-owned woman radio station in Oklahoma. Now I'm going
Yeah.
down to Tulsa, Greenwood to do an event with her in the beginning of October, and
Wow.
and it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. But it's stuff
Yeah.
like that that needs to occur, and then what we do after the fact to make that impact stick, or to make that impact even occur after the fact,
Yes.
and ongoing. So it's like that's why I'm building influence. You gotta. I'm trying to be like the marketing version of MLK. Like
Wow.
I put that on my link tree a while ago, and it's probably still on my Facebook. I don't know, but
Yeah.
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 So that question was easier than I thought.
Wow. 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 I'm surprised because and surprised in that you chose somebody who's no longer with us.
Yeah.
My expectation was somebody who is here walking on earth. But when you said Martin Luther King, I was like, whoa, this is heavy. Wow. 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 And the point that the fact that you pointed out the magnitude of what he was able to do with just
Mhm.
a minute percentage of what we have today when we think of all the different technologies and the different structures and systems that are available today. But he was able to accomplish so much. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate. Thank you.
Humble, humble.
Thank you. So Mob, you shared with us. So for those who jumped on late, Mob, Keenan Jones is the creator of Mob. What is that? Mom owned businesses. If you go on Facebook, you can see that group, and it is clocking 57,000 members now and growing. But it reaches over a million, you said,
Oh yeah,
views?
yeah, way more, way more. Every 28
Way
days.
more.
I don't know. I haven't checked it recently. It's probably
Yeah.
like I don't know, like 50, 60 million. Like
Wow.
it's because of the it's a public group, and
Yeah.
like I said, my concept on engaging. When you engage,
Yeah.
everyone wins. You helping everyone win because once you like it or you comment on a post that's in my group, it's a public group, so that means anyone can see it. So once you comment on it, you're opening the door for your followers to see it. And
Yeah.
then when you do that, you also got other people that's doing that too from people that don't follow you. But guess what? Their followers can now potentially see your comment because you engage in a post. Now you ripple that, you triple it, quadruple it, quintuple it, just keep going, right? Then eventually you get down to 300, 400 comments, and you got a post that's reached 40,000 people in one day organically, no paid ads, because
Yeah.
of one key call to action, which is my hashtag drop a link. You Google it, you'll see
Yeah.
the impact. It works. It really works. And the strategy behind it, everyone thinks it's just dropping businesses. No, it's strategy, and you got to do it. That's the first step. But after that, you got to buy the ebook. And I tell you,
Yes. I was actually looking for that ebook to pick it up. I was like, where is this ebook? Haven't found it as yet, but definitely we'll talk after the show.
all
That
right,
I to pick up the ebook. I wanted to consume the content before we jumped on and couldn't find it and wasn't able to reach you before, but totally understand. You mentioned the amount of persons you're able to reach, but key thing you mentioned is engagement. And as you were
Mhm.
talking about it, Keenan, my mind flashed back to when we just started talking and you were speaking of and later on about supporting each other, being there for each other. And that's exactly what the engagement is. A love or a like or a hey
Yep.
on the post that somebody else would have posted. Many persons don't know when you do that, all the followings of that person, open up yourself to be seen because they're seeing, okay, Michelle said hi, Keenan said hi, Alicia said hi. Well, who are these people? And sometimes your hi or your like or your love lead them to your people to see what you're in tuned in.
Mhm.
But it goes right back to engaging, not just going on social media to consume, consume, but to show some love. Yeah. Like
There you
here with
go.
us
Some
this
love.
afternoon. Show some love. Like here with us this afternoon, like share.
Yep. Yep. Share that. Tap that arrow. Whoop.
Yes, yes, yes. Keenan, I would like for you to share with folks. So we mentioned Mob and we also mentioned Delaware Events and shopde.org and boomnn.org. Can you share with them how did you shared how Mob came about to being? How did you move on to Delaware Events and then Boom and then Shop DE? How did you move on? Like how did those get
Honestly,
started?
the chronological order sequentially it goes booming. Hold on. Yeah, booming, Delaware events, mom owned businesses, then shop Delaware. Mom owned businesses is my baby. That's fairly new, you know.
Ooh, really?
Booming, booming is
Oh,
my marketing company. That's my first marketing, actually my second marketing company.
yes.
Um, and booming stands for Black Owned and Operated Marketing National Network. But no
Wow.
one will ever know that really because I don't broadcast that because it scares other cultures away. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I want all the money, right? So
Yes.
that's my first marketing company, and that's the honestly the engine behind the mob, you know. And then let me see, Delaware Events came from at the time I was just struggling with getting events up in Delaware and whatnot. And Delaware is not the best, most supportive state. I don't know what people hear about Delaware, but it kind of sucks to open a business up in Delaware because it's very small. We just started getting numbers up, but it's getting there. But we just don't have that culture where we
Yes.
support each other. Like it's not like how can I say, like how New York is or how even like Philly may be, or Atlanta. Yeah, it's just not the same. Now, since I started Delaware Events, a lot has changed. We're up to 15,000 people now, and
Wow.
it's literally simple. You keep it simple for the branding purposes because when people look up Delaware Events on Facebook, you want to know where events are Delaware Events. So that's how SEO is everything, and people sleep on it. But that's how Delaware Events got popping, really, because I didn't put much marketing into it. It was just me being creative with the name. That was the same with the mob, not creative, not being as creative with the name, just being simple, direct to the
Yes.
point. So when people are searching it on Google, then the first thing
Yes.
that comes up is Delaware Events on Facebook, you
Yes.
know? And then let me see, Shop Delaware. That was because I just got tired of people being unorganized with businesses and people not getting leads. So I try to come up with a solution for the problem. And
Ah,
that honestly is my biggest solution and honestly going to make the biggest impact, and that's going to be the legacy I leave behind is these
mhm.
directories, these free directories I'm starting all over the nation. I got about 6 right now, but I'm going to have a lot more, 52. But I'm going to have these free directories all over the nation
Mhm.
simultaneously. When people sign up for the directories, I'm getting leads for my business partners and myself. But in return, these people that are signing up are getting traffic because I create the traffic that goes to the website. I reach 113 million people every single month, every 28 days from,
Yes.
over Facebook. Now,
Yes.
all I'm doing is redirecting this traffic because no one else is going to do it and no one else
Yes.
knows how to do it. And if they do know how to do it, they're not doing it. So I'm redirecting the traffic to my groups, to my pages, to my websites, so they can actually have beneficial use. And it's not just any kind of traffic; it's specific traffic, like locally based,
Yes.
or targeted audience based. Like that's people just when you understand marketing and the power of it, you
Yes.
you really want to see and you want to see everyone win. Like
Yes.
the best thing you can do is give someone something free where you can make the money off of giving that to them for free.
Yes.
And that's all I'm doing. So it's going to, in the end game, it's going to be a whole network, which is going to be black owned and operated marketing national network. But we don't want people to know that because it's going to scare people away. But it's going to create this network of the directories and whatnot for people that want to promote events, people that want to promote their businesses, whatever it is. And it's going to be amazing because it's just going to change the economy in a way that I would honestly prefer it to be changed because we don't work together when that's all we need to do.
Mm. Why do you say that you don't call it that? You don't promote it like that because it's going to scare people away.
Well, because one, they kind of ruined Black Lives Matter for me.
Mm.
It just really did, and it's all cool to hear Black Lives Matter and hear about your race, your people, and
Yes.
supporting black owned businesses. But honestly, you're crippling your business if you put black owned on it because you're only one, you're scaring away other races for one, because they're not proud that you're black owned. And then,
Yes.
and everyone, a lot of people disagree with me for this, but
Yes.
two, when you're putting that label on yourself, not only are you just shutting yourself out from other races and other money, but you're relying on a race, which is your own black people that don't support each other. We still around here, killing
Hmm.
each other and doing this and that, and we're cheap. We would rather go to Amazon or Walmart. I would too. I'm not gonna lie, because they're cheap, they're convenient. You know that they're legit. Like you just know so many things, and you're comfortable with the norm. So
Yes.
us expecting the black dollar to take care of black businesses is unrealistic, because there's no sole race that their dollar takes care of their race by itself. That doesn't. It's not real. It's not real whatsoever.
Mhm.
So you should be wanting to get business from other races and other cultures and whatnot. That should be the goal, because only then I feel like you're truly going to be able to establish a sustainable business.
Mm. Wow. 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 As we are winding, bringing it down to a close, we're going to take a quick break for you guys to tune into this, and then we'll be right back with you. Yep. So yours truly is an author. And if you have not yet picked up your I Am Loved and the Firm Gratitude Journal, you got to get in on it. It is also priceless. Yep. I'm not sure what's going on with Keenan. Okay, you're here. You're wonderful. All right. So as we are winding it down, I have a question that I'd love to ask you. And just before, let me just double check. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Now, in an article that post that you put up a couple
Mhm.
weeks ago, you made this statement. You said, I stood on what I believe in, and I believe in myself. Why did you position yourself with this mindset of believing in yourself? And why did you make such a statement?
Part of
And
it goes into.
you know which post I'm talking, right?
I hope I do. Are you talking about the post where I was holding a piece of paper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Well, part of it was because, like what I said, manifestation, like that's everything. And it's like, if you don't believe in yourself, you don't change that mindset, you don't speak certain things into existence, it's not going to happen. Like, it's just not going to happen. And then the other part of that is I've I've lived a lot of lies inside of a life. We'll say that. And for 7 years, I was a slave to basically the system. I was on the run. I was an outlaw, all over miss, messed up court documents and whatnot. But long story short, I was threatened with jail time over a clerical error with courts.
Mm.
And up until the date of that post, I literally had 7 warrants for about 7 years, and I couldn't get an ID. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't do anything that a normal person could do, and never would I ever take that for granted again, because it's very hard. It's just very hard, and trying to do everything that I was doing, well, not trying, doing everything that I did without an ID, without a license, without like all those things that you really need, just showed me that when I believe in myself, when I put God first, I can do anything.
Mm.
Like, simply put, because you got so many people out here with excuses and complaining and this and that, but it's like, hey man, you get to a point where it's not going to do anything but make more stuff like that come to fruition. So why not change that energy? Why not change that vibe? And put that effort into something positive, put the effort into something that's going to make a difference in your life and others. And that's what, to the point where I got to that point, and I stopped complaining, and I
Mm.
stopped pointing the finger, and I got to a point where I just had to take action, and that action led to really me building the influence that I have now.
Yes.
I mean, and I'm truly humble, because half
Yeah.
the stuff I can't believe it. Like, I'm partnered with Facebook, I'm partnered with ADP, the payroll company, I'm partnered with Smart Credit, and all of this is because I became a nerd and started learning the algorithm on Facebook, and started putting up some numbers and whatnot.
Mhm.
And I'm just humbled because despite that's why I say I don't regret anything, because
Mhm.
despite how hard it's been, and it's to a point where like I wasn't seeing my kids. They were I wasn't able to do certain things. I was scared to walk out the door, because anytime I stepped out the door, there's potential that I could be locked up and not be seeing my kids anymore, right?
Mhm.
And I made promises to my daughters that wouldn't occur, and I had to keep that promise. Like I just had to keep that promise no matter what.
Yes.
So no matter how tough it is, and no matter how hard it seems, there's always a solution. There's always a way out, and that's like one message I want to push out to anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
Like, just don't ever give up. Like, I don't care how hard life hits. It's
Yeah.
not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit and can keep moving forward. And yeah, it's never easy. Like the journey's never easy, but the journey's meant to build you. Like the journey's meant to
Come
ensure
on.
that you're ready for that destination. And I,
Yeah.
I can tell you that I did not like my journey. And I'm still undergoing a journey. Like there's always going to be tests, trials, and tribulations and whatnot. Like this weekend was hectic for me, but I'm still grateful for God. I'm still grateful for where He's put me at, and
Yeah.
regardless of what's going on, like I know the outcome. I didn't
Yes.
listen. I've been God and myself
Preach
has
it.
been the answer
Come on.
to our problems
Yeah.
every single time. So, and I don't get how people question themselves or their potential or
Mm.
what they're capable of, because every time you pray or every time you say I don't know how I'm gonna get through the next day, you don't
Yes.
give yourself no credit. You don't
Come.
give yourself any credit. But each time you got through the day, yes, you pray to God, but God uses you as a vessel to answer your own prayers.
Yep.
Like, so
Yep.
you gotta give yourself credit. You gotta have that, your chest out a little bit. You gotta have your head held high a little bit,
Yep.
because you're amazing. Like, you
Yes.
are an amazing individual and you are capable. And that's
Yes.
what people need to,
Here.
infer and hear and
Yeah.
redirect to others. Like, you are capable, you are amazing. And it's like, just because you're going through something doesn't mean it's the end of the world. This might just be a lesson that you need to become the person that you want to be or that God wants you to be. So
Yes. Yes. Wow. Oh my gosh. You need a mic and you need a stage. You need something. I was thinking this morning as I was getting ready, I was saying, Keaton say he hates going live. And I think he should be going live daily.
because if I guess what's going to happen on live, people don't realize that live actually helps you get followers. If I
Yeah.
get on live, my followers going to jump a lot, and I don't want a lot of followers because they're going to expect me to go on live here and there. I'm a very busy person. I like showing up when I want to show up. Like, you should look at my emails. Like, all these people reach out to me from like these major companies, and
Yes.
I'm just on my time because like I have to retain my sanity and retain my resources and all
Yes.
that to be able to help the masses. So it's like
Yep.
it's
Yep.
great to pour into people, but one thing I had to learn is, which is why I kind of stopped doing my marketing for so cheap, or
Mhm.
I had to make a way where it could be cheap and not draining from me. But
Yes.
it's great to fill people's cups up, but yo,
Mhm.
you cannot forget to fill your own cup up. And I
Come on.
suck at that. I
Oh
suck
my
at
God.
it. That's why the last 6 7 months I've been in and out the hospital. And it's like
Mhm.
I found a church where I feel like I'm going to be able to get my cup refilled,
Yes.
and I feel like that's going to be a big part of it. But another part of it is taking my own action
Yep.
and like building those boundaries,
Yeah.
and they're
Absolutely.
not feeling responsible for everyone in the world. So
Come on. Come on. Wow. 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 I think you got a peek into my closeout question. And thank you. Thank you for the rich value that you're delivering in every question that you're answering this afternoon. And my prayer is that everyone who's tuned in now and who will tune in after will indeed go ahead and write. As you're talking, I'm thinking, okay, hashtag da da da, hashtag da da da, but some really rich value as you are sharing. And just want to give a shout out again. I see Lady Anesta from the UK in the house saying hi, Mish, Victoria, Chef Tori. Wow, she said you're doing good. You're doing good. You're very proud of you, sir. And
humble.
Purpose in Christ Ministries. I like that quote. That's the one where you mentioned, I believe,
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
the post that you post. And Alicia, failure plus lessons equal win. Like,
Hey,
wow, wow.
Alicia. Oh, that's Alicia.
Yeah,
Alicia. Okay, okay.
that's Alicia, Alicia. So the closeout question that I want to ask you, Keenan, and you kind of touched on him as you were answering the question before, is in the life of Keenan Jones, in the businesses of Keenan Jones, what role does God and your relationship with him play?
Everything. Like everything. He's the. I trust me. I went to school for elementary education and special education and school leadership, and I haven't used my degree in over 10 years. When I tell you I never see myself marketing, I didn't go to school for marketing.
Wow.
I taught everything. I taught myself everything that I know, like all the algorithms that I learned, and which you have to, self educate yourself on,
Mhm.
kind of like monthly. But everything that I know is self taught and then self applied. Like even when it comes to my research, like all the stats and everything, how I know what time to post, that comes from
Yeah.
my own stats from millions of people that I reach. So it's like God put me in that position
Mm.
and put it's crazy because you get to a point where you realize that everything that happened in your life was just God like literally pulling the strings and like, all right, I'm gonna make this happen because later on you're gonna use this for this
Come
situation, and then you're gonna use that for that
on.
situation. And that's why I mentioned earlier, like at a refinery, I learned a lot of what I learned from businesses from a refinery, and that refinery is turning, crude oil to gas and distillates and propane.
Mhm.
It got nothing to do with the really business if you look at it from one view, but from another view, it has everything to do with businesses because you need to learn systems. Like certain stuff that I went through, me learning how to do all this stuff without any money, without any capital, without any license, without any ID. That was so my story can be, someone else's salvation. So I can
Yes.
show people how to get it done, without the money,
Yes.
without, having $15,000 in capital, without
Yes.
being able to go to a bank and get a loan, without
Yes.
being able to get a job because you don't have an ID, whatever it is. Like I'm living proof that there's no excuse for you not to be able to succeed in the business.
Yes.
So
Mm.
God has always been first, and the deeper I get into this, and the more things that happen, I break
Yes.
down and I cry sometimes because I can't believe it, and it's
Wow.
like because God, he's so good, and people don't realize that he's always going to put you first. We just got to put him first, and we start doing that, everything's going to line up the right way, and
Mm.
that's all I see happening right now, and of course bad things are going to come, but that's a test. That's just trials, and that might not even be a test. It might just be something to show you how strong you are, to prove to you, all right, you got through this. Now, when something else comes along, it's going to be like this because right now I'm at that baseline where my baseline is walking through hell, and I made that I made that chaos manageable.
Ah.
That's because I see God. Like oh my goodness, in church today. It says something about I can't recall it for completely, but this lady gave a testimony, and she said that the sweetest time or the best time to meet God is when you're walking in your hell.
Come on.
Like,
Come on. That's another
yo,
hashtag there.
I'm, I don't mean to do this,
Yep.
but
Wow.
yeah, but like seriously, it's like, and that's when I found
Mm.
because I knew God my whole life, but it's just like when I understood that it was Him that was putting me where I was, and it was Him that was positioning me to walk in my purpose, and He showed me what my purpose was. After
Yeah.
that, it was just like when stuff started coming, I didn't ask any questions. I just took it and I kept going.
Come on. Mm. Woo. Did you hear that? When stuff started happening, I didn't ask any question. I just took it and I moved on. For you, where you're at, if it's that you're going through the grind and you're like, God, did you forget me? God, what's going on? God, this don't look like you. Take it and move on. Yeah. Keenan, thank you so much. I enjoyed this. The time is just not enough. And definitely we have to reconnect again like this, providing your schedule with a love for it.
All
Thank
right, we definitely make some time. Thank you for having me. I'm truly humbled. And
Yes.
shout out to all the moms out there that's doing our thing, especially the mothers of my kin.
Yeah.
Shout out to anyone that had involvement to help me with anything or to the person that I've become today. And
Yes.
shout out to Daenerys. She's the other founder of the mob. Shout
Yes.
out to my best friend Lee. She's like a
Yes.
big inspiration. My best friend Stephanie. And
Yeah.
shout out to my mom, and then most importantly, shout out to God, and lastly, shout out to Michelle. Boop.
Thank you. Wow, thank you so much. And for those you want to connect with Keenan, his Linktree link is somewhere either above or below the video, depending on which platform that you're tuning in from, as well as for Lyman Moses. Lyman, right? Limon?
Lamont Moses, yep, Lamont
Limon.
Moses. That's the
Yep.
petition. Please sign. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Please sign. We're just trying to help make a difference. That's all. Just trying to help
Yep.
make a difference.
Yep. Awesome. Guys, God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of the Sunday. We meet up here next week, same place, but to our usual time, which is 3 p.m. every Sunday afternoon. We're right here on the Win Win Live show. Thank you for everyone who showed up and for everyone who showed some love. God bless you. It's a pleasure having you this afternoon. Okay? And we close it out. Au revoir.